The hotel lobby buzzes with activity as guests pass by, chatting excitedly, their luggage in tow. The smell of fresh coffee drifts through the air, mixed with the faint scent of floral arrangements. Behind the front desk, the staff hustle, their faces a mixture of professionalism and the exhaustion of long hours. Among them, Amelia Duquesne watches, her eyes sharp as she observes the operation of her own luxury hotel. Disguised in a plain beige housekeeping uniform, her hair pulled back in a neat bun, she blends into the environment, a shadow among the bustling employees. No one suspects that the hotel's owner, Amelia Duquesne, is standing right there amongst them, taking on the guise of a temporary housekeeper in an attempt to uncover the truth. The complaints about staff mistreatment have reached her ears, but she's determined to see for herself. Her mission is simple but necessary: to expose what's going wrong under her roof, and to find out whether her staff's complaints are rooted in truth or exaggerated by disgruntled voices. As she sweeps the hallway with the hum of vacuum cleaner in the background, Amelia hears snippets of conversation from the younger staff members. Their laughter is mocking, and the words sting. One of the hotel's oldest employees, Harold Mason, the doorman, is the subject of their cruel jokes. They talk about his age, his slow movements, and laugh at the idea of him struggling with the door. Amelia's chest tightens with a wave of anger as she catches snippets of them making fun of his heavy, silver-gray hair, mocking his weathered posture. She shakes her head and keeps cleaning, but her mind is spinning. She's heard the whispers before, staff pushing elderly employees to the brink, making them feel useless. She's heard rumors of the doorman quietly helping guests with luggage, going out of his way to ensure things are perfect even when no one is looking. But now she wonders just how far Harold's kindness has gone. Later that evening, as Amelia takes her break in the back room, she spots Harold near the front entrance. He's standing by the door, holding a suitcase for a guest who's clearly in a rush. The guest hands him a tip, but Harold's eyes linger on the money as if he's unsure. Amelia watches him, hiding behind a stack of linens as he pockets the tip. For a moment, she wonders if it's his dignity that's been robbed over the years, or just his sense of worth. She doesn't know yet, but she plans to find out. As she continues her shift in the hotel, Amelia notices something troubling. The tip jar behind the front desk is mysteriously light, too light. It's never been this way before. The tip jar, which guests often use to leave extra tips for the staff, has been stolen. Someone's been taking the money. She watches the employees go about their day. But she knows the jar didn't just vanish on its own. Her mind races, trying to piece together who could be responsible. Could it have been one of the younger staff members, who might have been growing frustrated with their hourly wages? Could they have taken the jar in the dead of night, sneaking it away when no one was watching? Or was it something bigger, something more systemic in the way the hotel was being run? The more Amelia thinks about it, the more questions pile up. But there's no time for hesitation. She begins to slip into the role of an undercover investigator, quietly observing and gathering evidence. In the coming days, she watches the hidden cameras she's set up, monitoring the footage as it streams on her phone. The footage reveals an even deeper issue within the hotel's walls. The camera catches Harold quietly slipping into the hotel's lost luggage storage room, his hand gently tracing the names on the tags. Amelia's pulse quickens. She watches as Harold, knowing no one is around, begins to pay for lost luggage out of his own pocket, using his savings to replace what guests had lost during their stay. He's never asked for recognition, never expected praise, but he's been taking care of what the hotel refused to, making sure the guests' belongings were returned, even when the hotel's own management had failed them. The camera catches him in the act again, standing outside the storage room, eyeing a guest's luggage claim slip. Amelia can hardly believe what she's seeing. The elderly doorman, treated like an afterthought, was secretly going above and beyond the duties of his position, using his small savings to keep guests happy. She feels a deep sense of shame for what she's seen, anger for the injustice of it all. But it's not over yet. The real twist comes when Amelia sits down with the footage of the stolen tip jar. The camera clearly shows a young bellboy, Ramon, slipping the jar into his bag, a grin on his face as he walks away. He thinks no one is watching, but Amelia sees it all. It's a betrayal of the worst kind. Ramon, who had been so charming and helpful to the guests, had been pocketing the tips that should have been shared among all of them, using his charm to cover his tracks. As the pieces of the puzzle fall into place, Amelia feels a sense of both dread and determination. She can't let this go on any longer. But there's one more thing. As Amelia prepares to confront the staff, she learns something unexpected. In the hotel's restaurant, she encounters a young child sitting alone at a table, eyes wide, holding a half-eaten cookie. Amelia, always compassionate, approaches the child, asking if they're lost. The child nods, tears brimming in their eyes. Amelia gently sits beside them, trying to comfort them. She asks if they can tell her where their parents are, but the child only shakes their head. It's a heartbreaking moment, a child left unattended in the busy restaurant. Amelia looks around the room, scanning for any signs of the child's parents. Her heart skips when she spots a woman near the entrance, her stern face framed by a dark professional suit, her eyes scanning the room like a hawk. It's the hotel's lawyer, Kayla Mendez. Amelia has seen Kayla before, confident, calculating, her presence commanding respect from the staff. But what she hadn't known is that this woman's child was now sitting alone in the hotel, abandoned in the sea of people. As Amelia leads the child toward Kayla, she watches the woman's expression shift. Kayla, whose face had once been so cold and indifferent, softens. She scoops the child into her arms, whispering comforting words. "Thank you for finding him," Kayla says quietly, looking directly at Amelia. Her voice carries a hidden weight, something Amelia can't quite put her finger on. The warmth of Kayla's expression lingers for a moment, and then the cold mask returns, her demeanor shutting down like a door closing on the truth. But it's only when Kayla hands over the child's belongings, his backpack and lunchbox, that Amelia realizes something she hadn't expected. There, sticking out from the bag, is a small, neatly folded contract. The hotel's contract, signed by the child's mother. And underneath, in bold letters, the name Kayla Mendez is listed as the company's lead attorney. Amelia's mind reels. She can't help but wonder what role the lawyer's family might play in the deeper corruption of the hotel. What did she know? And how far would Kayla go to protect the interests of the company? As Amelia walks away, she can feel her pulse quicken. Everything is connected. Harold, Ramon, the missing tip jar, the lost luggage, and now the hotel's lawyer. She's closer than ever to uncovering the truth. But just as she's about to confront the staff, the power goes out. The lights flicker, the emergency alarms ring out, and the room is plunged into darkness. A chill runs down Amelia's spine as she realizes this is no coincidence. Someone is watching her. Someone knows what she's been doing. The room is pitch black, save for the faint glow of Amelia's phone, which she holds in her trembling hand. The emergency alarms blare in the background, a harsh reminder of the darkness that's descended upon the hotel. The loud buzzing of the fire alarm echoes through the halls, but Amelia's mind is elsewhere, fixated on what she's just uncovered. The tip jar, the missing luggage, and now the hotel lawyer's connection to the child. It's all too much, and it's becoming clear that there's more going on behind the scenes than Amelia could have ever anticipated. Her heart is pounding in her chest as she walks cautiously through the now silent hotel. The staff had been panicking earlier, some even evacuating, but she stayed behind, determined to finish what she started. She reaches the front desk where she usually sees the bellboys, but it's eerily quiet now. It's as though the entire hotel has been emptied in a single moment. The only sound is the ringing of the alarm and the distant hum of the emergency lights flickering overhead. Amelia's phone screen flickers slightly as she swipes through the camera feed again. The footage she's reviewed countless times now shows Harold, her elderly doorman, slipping quietly into the lost luggage room once more, his hand subtly tapping a guest's luggage claim ticket. There's no one to see him, no one to intervene. She watches as Harold pulls a wad of cash from his own pocket and slides it into the luggage claim envelope. What she hadn't noticed before is how quickly he withdraws his hand. His movements are quick, almost too quick, and for a moment, the flash of desperation in his eyes catches Amelia off guard. Harold wasn't just doing this out of kindness. There was something more to his actions. He was doing it to survive, surviving the systemic cruelty of a hotel that had long overlooked its most vulnerable staff. Amelia pauses in her steps, the weight of the realization crashing over her. This was more than just an issue with tipped jars or stolen goods. This was a reflection of a deep-rooted problem at the core of the hotel's operations. The staff, from the newest intern to the oldest doorman, were being taken advantage of by the very system they had trusted. And now, Amelia was seeing it firsthand. But just as she begins to feel the pressure of the truth settling in, the flickering emergency lights above her catch her attention. The red glow seems almost menacing as it illuminates the front desk. It's then that she sees him, the hotel manager, Langdon. Langdon is standing in the shadows, his expression unreadable. His steel blue eyes seem to pierce the darkness, but his posture is stiff, like a man who's trying to maintain control over an increasingly chaotic situation. He's holding a tablet, and Amelia knows, deep down, that it's probably connected to the hidden cameras she had set up around the hotel. He's seen everything. He knows what she's been watching. Amelia. Langdon's voice is low, calm, too calm. I think we need to have a word. For a moment, Amelia doesn't respond. She's unsure of what to say. Her instincts scream that Langdon is the key to everything. He has connections. He has power. And he's been watching her. What did you see? She asks, trying to keep her voice steady. Langdon doesn't move. He simply stares at her with those cold, calculating eyes. He's always been a mystery to her. Detached, professional, and always lurking in the shadows. He was never the most approachable manager, and Amelia had always suspected he was more involved in the hotel's dark side than he let on. I saw everything, Langdon finally admits, his voice still calm. I saw the cameras, Amelia. I saw you watching. I saw Harold, Ramon, and I saw everything you've been doing behind closed doors. Amelia's pulse quickens. There's no denying it now. He knows. And that means she's no longer operating in the shadows. She's exposed. You're going to fix this, aren't you? Amelia says, her words sharp and firm, though her hands tremble slightly. She's not sure if she's asking for confirmation or challenging him. Langdon gives a slight, almost imperceptible smile. Fix it. No, Amelia. I think it's time we had a different conversation. Before she can respond, the sound of footsteps echoes from the hallway. Another figure appears, Kayla Mendez, the hotel's lawyer, walking toward them with a confident stride. Her eyes narrow as she notices Amelia standing with Langdon. Kayla's stern demeanor doesn't change, but there's a faint recognition in her eyes, like she's aware of something Amelia hasn't yet grasped. Everything all right here? Kayla asks, her tone cool but curious. Langdon nods. I was just getting acquainted with Amelia. It seems she's been taking quite an interest in the inner workings of the hotel. Kayla's eyes flick to Amelia, and for a split second, Amelia swears she sees something flicker, something almost like fear. But it's gone as quickly as it appeared, and Kayla's professional mask is back in place. Interesting. I trust you're not disrupting operations. Her gaze lingers on Amelia, probing, as if searching for cracks in her calm exterior. No, Amelia says, her voice unwavering. I'm just trying to help. I'm here to find out what's really going on. This hotel needs a serious overhaul. It's been running on corruption for too long. Langdon steps closer now, his presence imposing. You don't know what you're up against, Amelia, he says, his voice now carrying an edge. You think you've uncovered something, but what you're seeing is only the surface. There's more beneath this hotel's walls. You wouldn't understand. Amelia's eyes narrow. Try me. Just then, the lights flicker again. But this time, it's not the emergency lighting. The regular lights of the hotel begin to go out, one by one. A low hum fills the air, and the hairs on the back of her neck stand up. The emergency system seems to be going haywire, its alarms growing louder by the second. What's going on? Amelia asks, her voice tight. But before anyone can respond, the lights finally go out, plunging the hotel back into complete darkness. A sharp intake of breath echoes from somewhere in the room. Then, from the darkness, a voice, a cold, distorted voice, laughs. It's a sound unlike anything Amelia has ever heard, and it sends chills crawling up her spine. Did you really think you could uncover everything, Amelia? The voice sneers. Who's there? Amelia demands, her heart pounding in her chest. The laugh comes again, this time more sinister. It seems to echo through the walls, growing louder until it feels as though the very hotel itself is alive, its pulse quickening, as if it's responding to the twisted, unseen figure lurking in the shadows. "Let's see if you can handle what comes next," the voice taunts, before the sound of footsteps fades into the distance. Amelia stands frozen in the pitch-black darkness, her breath quickening as the reality of the situation begins to sink in. Something far darker than anything she had imagined is at play here, and the hotel, her hotel, holds more secrets than she's ever realized. Before she can gather her thoughts, a flash of light briefly illuminates the hallway, revealing a figure standing just outside the door, watching her with dark, unreadable eyes. And then nothing. The light goes out again, leaving Amelia to face the looming unknown, as the hotel, its staff, and the secrets that bind them all hang in the balance. The darkness presses in around Amelia like a suffocating cloud. The emergency alarms still ring in her ears, but the faint flicker of a distant light breaks through the gloom. It's brief, but enough to illuminate the hall for a moment, revealing nothing but shadows. She grips her phone tighter, the screen dim but still functional in her hand. Her breath is shallow, her mind racing, trying to make sense of the twisted events that have unfolded in the past few hours. The hotel feels alien now, as if it's no longer the place she's known for so long. The walls seem to hold secrets, and the very air feels thick with deceit. She listens, straining her senses. The oppressive silence in the hotel is interrupted only by the occasional hum of the emergency system trying to reboot. The faintest whisper of movement is heard, like someone knows something is still lurking just beyond the reach of the light. "Who's there?" Amelia calls out again, her voice steadier than she feels. But there's no answer. The faint sound of footsteps echoes in the distance, too distant to pinpoint. They come and go in quick succession, as though the hotel itself is alive with movement, someone watching her from the shadows. Langdon and Kayla are silent now, their earlier arrogance replaced by a new, unsettling stillness. Amelia can feel the tension in the air, the weight of unspoken truths hanging over them. Whatever is happening in this hotel, whatever dark force controls it, it's far more powerful than anything she could have imagined. She can no longer rely on the hotel's security systems, on the hidden cameras, or her own observations. This is something bigger, something far darker. "What is this?" Amelia whispers, mostly to herself, but Kayla steps forward, her face now a mask of cool professionalism, as if the power outage is just another inconvenience to be dealt with. "Don't worry, Amelia," Kayla says, her voice smooth but strained. "This will all be resolved soon. We just need to be patient." Amelia turns her gaze to Kayla, skeptical. "Patience? Is that what you call it? A blackout, cryptic messages, and now, whoever was just laughing in the dark, you think I'm supposed to sit back and wait?" For a moment, the two women stare at each other. Then, unexpectedly, Kayla smiles, though it doesn't reach her eyes. "You should understand, Amelia," she says softly. "There are things you can't control, things we don't want you to see, but you're too deep now. There's no way out." Langdon steps closer, his presence looming. He's been watching her, his sharp blue eyes never leaving her. "You're asking questions that aren't meant to be answered," he says, his voice low. "You've seen what you've seen. But this hotel, it's bigger than you." Amelia's pulse quickens. "What do you mean by that? Who's controlling this place?" For the briefest moment, Langdon's expression falters. Just a flicker of uncertainty. But it's gone as soon as it appears. "You're just another pawn," he mutters, more to himself than to her. A chill runs down Amelia's spine, but before she can respond, a loud bang echoes through the hallway, followed by another. A door slams shut somewhere in the distance. Then a sharp, metallic sound, the unmistakable scrape of a keycard slot being tampered with. Amelia's heart races. "What was that?" she asks, her voice shaking now. Without waiting for an answer, she steps forward, moving towards the source of the sound. Langdon grabs her arm in a vice-like grip, but she jerks away, her instincts overriding the sudden surge of fear that gripped her. "You don't want to go that way," Langdon warns, his face pale. "It's not safe." But Amelia doesn't stop. She's come this far, and she refuses to turn back now. Whatever's going on in this hotel, she has to see it through to the end. The truth is out there, somewhere in the darkness, somewhere beyond the lies. As she rounds the corner, her phone flickers, and she almost drops it in surprise. The flashlight feature activates, casting a faint glow on the walls. The sound of metal scraping is louder now, and she sees the silhouette of a figure crouched by the service elevator. The figure is tall, wearing a long dark coat, and their movements are swift, too swift. Before Amelia can react, the figure straightens up, their face hidden in shadow. But then, the low red light flickers once more, revealing the figure's identity. It's Harold. Her heart skips a beat. The elderly doorman, the man who's always been so kind to the guests, is standing there in the dark, a tool in hand, working at the elevator's control panel. But it's not just any elevator. This is the service elevator, the one that no one uses unless they're headed to restricted areas. Harold, Amelia calls out, her voice softer this time, confused and concerned. What are you doing? Harold freezes, his back to her. His shoulders are slumped, his movements slower than before. For a moment, he doesn't turn around, and Amelia wonders if he even heard her. But then, slowly, he raises his hand and presses it against the elevator doors, as though calming himself before turning to face her. Amelia, he says, his voice cracked and tired. You shouldn't be here. None of us should be here. The words hit Amelia like a punch. What do you mean? What's going on in this hotel? Harold's eyes meet hers, and in them, she sees something that frightens her, a deep, painful sadness. There are things here, things hidden beneath the surface. He begins. The hotel's been hijacked, controlled by forces we never saw coming. Amelia shakes her head. What are you talking about? Before Harold can respond, there's a sudden loud thud from the direction of the service elevator doors. A clicking noise echoes through the hallway, followed by the unmistakable sound of a lock turning. Something is coming. Harold's face pales even further. You need to get out of here, he warns, his voice now urgent. There are people watching. They're not who you think they are. Langdon, Kayla, they're all involved. He pauses, his breath shallow. The elevator leads to the heart of this hotel's secret. But you won't survive it. No one does. Amelia is about to speak when the elevator doors creak open, and the darkness spills out. A sharp, cold gust of air sweeps through the hallway, and she hears a mechanical hum, something too precise, too calculated. It's not just an elevator. It's a gateway. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps, many footsteps, approaches from the darkness. Figures emerge from the shadows, their faces hidden beneath dark hoods. They are everywhere, and they're closing in fast. Amelia's heart pounds in her chest as she turns back to Harold. What is this? She gasps, the realization sinking in. Harold stares at her, his face twisted in grief. The final phase of the hotel's plan, he whispers. The takeover. They've been preparing for this for years. Before she can ask another question, the group of figures moves forward, closing in around them. Harold turns to Amelia, eyes wide with terror. Get out, Amelia. Run. But it's too late. The figures step forward, and the lights go out again. Amelia feels the cold rush of air as the figures close in on her, the shadows growing taller, darker. Her breath catches in her throat, the hair on the back of her neck standing on end. The silence is deafening, broken only by the sound of her own heartbeat pounding in her ears. She can hear them moving, like a pack of wolves surrounding their prey. Every step deliberate, every breath calculated. Her fingers tremble as she grips her phone tightly, the faint glow from the screen illuminating the dim hallway, just enough to see the faces of the approaching figures. They are all wearing identical black hooded cloaks, their faces obscured by shadows. But Amelia can feel their eyes cold, empty, watching her with a hunger that chills her to the core. The air feels thick with menace, as if every inch of space around her is filled with a quiet, impending doom. Amelia! Harold's voice is barely a whisper behind her. She turns to find him still standing near the elevator, his frail form silhouetted against the dark backdrop of the hallway. His eyes are wide with fear. You shouldn't have followed me. You don't understand what you're up against. Her heart races, a lump forming in her throat. She wants to shout, to demand answers, but the words catch in her chest. There's something wrong about this place, something far worse than she had imagined. The elevator door continues to open with a slow, eerie creak, and Amelia realizes she's standing at the entrance to something far more dangerous than she could have ever prepared for. The figures are getting closer now. She can feel the heat of their bodies, even through the cold. And yet, there's something odd about them, something mechanical, something unnatural about their movements. It's as if they're not entirely human. Amelia's breath quickens as she backs up, her legs trembling with fear. "Harold, what are they?" she whispers, her voice breaking. Harold doesn't respond right away. He's staring at the figures with a look of both sadness and resolve. "You need to leave, Amelia. This isn't just about the hotel anymore. It's about something much bigger. They've been watching you. They know everything." Her mind races as she tries to make sense of his words. Who are these figures? What does he mean by "they've been watching"? She's about to ask another question when suddenly, the elevator doors slam shut behind her with a deafening bang, cutting off her escape. The figures now stand only a few feet away, surrounding her like a pack of predators ready to strike. One of the figures, taller than the rest, steps forward. Its face remains hidden beneath the hood, but its presence is overwhelming. Amelia can feel the coldness radiating from it, an unnatural chill that cuts through her. It raises one gloved hand, pointing directly at her. "You should not have come here," the figure says, its voice low and mechanical, as though it is being synthesized. It's a voice that carries no emotion, no warmth, just a chilling, robotic tone. "Who are you?" Amelia demands, her voice trembling but defiant. "What do you want from me?" The figure steps closer, its movements unervingly fluid. "You've seen too much. You're a threat to the plan. You will be dealt with accordingly." The words send a jolt of panic through her, but before she can react, another figure steps forward, holding out a small, black device in its hand. The device hums softly, and Amelia feels an electrical jolt run through the air, like static energy charging the space around her. Her skin tingles with the sensation, and she takes a step back, instinctively raising her arms to protect herself. "Harold!" she cries out, her voice desperate. "What is this? What is happening?" But Harold doesn't move. He stands still, his eyes filled with a sorrowful resignation. "I tried to stop them," he says quietly, his voice breaking. "But you can't fight this. They've already taken control of everything. The hotel, it's just a front, a distraction. The real plan is much darker than you could have imagined." Amelia's heart sinks. "What do you mean? What plan?" Before he can answer, the taller figure raises its hand, a sharp metallic click echoing in the air. A holographic display springs to life in front of Amelia, showing a map of the hotel, its corridors illuminated in red. The map shifts and changes, zooming in on specific rooms, areas, and corridors that are normally locked or off-limits. A line blinks in the center of the map, directing Amelia's attention to the very heart of the hotel. The real heart of the hotel, the figure says, its voice cold and emotionless. This is where it all begins, the core of the operation. Amelia feels a sickening realization settle over her. What is this place? What's in the core? The core, the figure explains, is the gateway, the starting point of a system that will change everything. You've seen the first phase, the hotel, the staff, the hidden cameras. But the second phase, the true purpose of this operation, is about controlling minds. And you've been a part of it all along. Amelia's head spins as she tries to process the words. Controlling minds? What does that mean? She's heard whispers of surveillance, of manipulation, but she never imagined the scope of it. The thought of her own involvement in something so twisted sends a chill of dread down her spine. "We are the architects of the new world," the figure continues. "And you were chosen to be part of it." "No," Amelia whispers, shaking her head, her mind racing for a way out. "I won't be a part of this. I'll stop you." "You don't have the power to stop us," the figure responds coldly. "You've already seen the truth. You've already walked the path. And now, you will take the next step. Amelia's thoughts are a blur, but before she can react, the figure's hand reaches out to her. There's a sudden, blinding light that surrounds her, and before she can scream, everything goes dark. She wakes up with a start, gasping for air. The room is unfamiliar, sterile, clinical. The walls are white, the lighting harsh. She's lying on a cold metal table, her wrist strapped down, her body immobilized. Panic rises in her chest as she struggles against the restraints, but they don't budge. "What is this?" she demands, her voice frantic. A figure steps into view, its face obscured by a mask. It's one of the hooded figures. Amelia tries to shout, to scream, but her voice catches in her throat. She can feel her heart pounding in her chest, the weight of the situation settling in. The plan is in motion, the figure says, its voice mechanical, like the others. "You can't stop it now." The figure steps forward, holding a small device in its hand, a black, circular object with flashing red lights. It's a device Amelia recognizes from the map. The core. Once the core is activated, the figure explains, there will be no turning back. The system will be in control, and you will be a part of it. Amelia's mind races, her thoughts spinning in every direction. She has to stop this. She has to break free. But as the figure moves closer, something catches her eye. An object on the floor. A small keycard, lying discarded near the edge of the room. Her heart skips a beat as she realizes it might be her only chance. With every ounce of strength she has left, Amelia pulls against the restraints, her hands slick with sweat. The figure is almost upon her, the device in hand. But she has no choice. She has to act. Amelia's heart hammers in her chest as the figure inches closer, the metallic click of the device, in its hand ringing louder than the blood rushing in her ears. Every part of her body screams for freedom, for action, but her restraints hold firm. Panic claws at her throat, threatening to choke her, but she pushes it down. There is no time for fear. There is no time for hesitation. She has to move, and she has to move now. Her eyes dart across the sterile, white-walled room, scanning for anything that might be her way out. Her gaze falls on the small keycard, lying just a few feet away, barely visible in the harsh overhead light. It's a lifeline. It's her only chance. Her mind races as she formulates a plan, but her body feels heavy, her limbs stiff from the restraints. The figure continues to approach, its shadow looming large over her. The device in its hand pulses with a sickly red glow, and Amelia can feel the air around her grow colder. She can almost taste the metal in the air, the fear so thick it presses against her skin. It's as if the walls themselves are closing in. The figure speaks, its voice devoid of emotion. "There's no escaping this, Amelia. You've already seen what you need to see. You've already been a part of the plan. It's too late." "No," Amelia forces out, her voice ragged. "I won't let you do this. I won't be a part of this." The figure remains silent for a moment, its head tilting slightly as if considering her words. The faintest hint of amusement flickers in its eyes, if they can be called eyes at all. The figure's face is obscured by a mask, its features hidden beneath the dark cloak it wears, but the air around it feels cold, distant, almost mechanical. "You think you can stop us?" the figure asks, its voice taunting, almost condescending. "You are already part of the system. You always have been. We've been watching you, Amelia. You were chosen." Amelia's chest tightens at the word chosen, but she refuses to let the dread seep in. She won't let it. She has to fight. There's no other choice. Her eyes dart again to the keycard, and in that moment, the figure takes another step closer, the device now hovering just inches from her face. It's the end if she doesn't act, and she knows it. Her mind works in overdrive. She doesn't have the strength to break free of the restraints. Those cuffs are too tight, too secure. But what if she doesn't need to break free? What if she can distract them just long enough to grab the keycard? With a sudden surge of determination, Amelia slams her head back against the cold metal table, creating a loud clang that reverberates through the room. The figure recoils, taking a step back, its focus momentarily diverted. That's all she needs. Amelia uses the brief moment of distraction to twist her body, her hands still strapped down, but she shifts just enough to reach out with her foot. Her toes brush against the floor, inching closer to the keycard. Her pulse quickens as she stretches her leg further, the pain in her ankle flaring with every movement, but she pushes through it. She has to reach it. She has to. Her foot touches the keycard. With a swift motion, she nudges it closer, feeling the small object shift beneath her foot. Her heart pounds with each second that passes, her thoughts racing. The figure watches her, its silence deafening, but it doesn't seem to move, yet she can almost feel its eyes on her, waiting, calculating. Her hand grips the edge of the table, straining against the restraints with all the strength she can muster. Every muscle in her body screams, but she can't stop. She won't. Finally, with one last push, her foot slides the keycard to the edge of the table. She scoops it up with her toes, lifting it just high enough to reach with her hand. She wraps her fingers around the plastic, her heart racing as she holds it tightly in her grasp. The figure takes another step forward, its hand still raised, ready to activate the device. Amelia's mind races as she presses the keycard against the restraints at her wrist, quickly sliding it between the cold metal and her skin. With a burst of effort, she pushes the card into the small slot beside the cuffs. A soft click echoes through the room, and Amelia feels the restraints loosen, just enough for her to yank her hands free. She doesn't wait. She jerks her hands free from the cuffs, the blood rushing back into her wrists, the pain sharp but momentary. Without missing a beat, she scrambles to her feet, her legs shaky but determined. The figure steps forward again, but this time Amelia is ready. She dives for the door, heart hammering as she sprints toward the hallway. The figure doesn't move immediately, it seems to hesitate, as if giving her a moment to escape. But she knows it's not mercy. It's a game. She bursts through the door, her breath coming in ragged gasps as she runs down the narrow corridor. Her footsteps echo loudly, a sharp contrast to the silence that had once engulfed the room. The lights flicker and buzz above her, casting a red-tinted glow that makes everything seem unreal, like she's running through a nightmare. The hallways twist and turn, and Amelia doesn't know where she's going, only that she needs to keep moving, to keep running. Her mind is clouded with panic, but she can't stop. The fear gnaws at her insides, but she knows she has to push through. She has to find the truth, the core of everything, the place where it all started. The hallway opens up into a large, circular room. At the center, there's a towering control panel, covered in flickering monitors that display maps of the hotel, the employees, the guests, all of them, all under surveillance. Amelia's stomach churns as she steps forward, her eyes wide in, horror at the realization of what she stumbled upon. This is it. This is the heart of the operation. This is the core. But before she can even take a breath, the door slams shut behind her with a force that rattles the walls. The sound of footsteps follows, steady and unrelenting. Amelia's eyes snap to the door, but she doesn't have time to react. No figures are here. They are coming for her. Amelia reaches for the nearest monitor, her hands trembling as she scans the screen. There are dozens of blinking red lights, cameras, surveillance, control systems. Everything is interconnected. Everything is a part of their plan. She can't stop it, not without taking down the entire system. As she frantically searches for a way to shut it all down, the sound of metal scraping against the floor fills the room. The door opens slowly, and another figure steps inside. This one is different, taller, more imposing. Its eyes gleam through the shadows, the same mechanical, calculating gaze. "You're too late," the figure says in a voice that chills her to the bone. And then the lights flicker one last time. Amelia's breath hitches as the figure steps further into the room, its silhouette emerging from the shadows. The flickering lights cast an eerie glow, making everything feel distorted, as if reality itself were slipping through her fingers. She's cornered now, with no place to run. The towering figure before her is unlike the others. There's something different about this one, something colder, more calculating. It steps forward, its mechanical movements almost synchronized with the harsh buzzing of the failing lights. The red glow from the monitors seems to intensify, casting long, sinister shadows across the control room. "You're too late," the figure repeats, its voice steady, devoid of emotion, like a cold, detached machine. Amelia's heart pounds in her chest. She feels the weight of everything closing in on her. The betrayal, the lies, the truth she's been chasing. The weight of the system she's up against. She's come this far, and yet now, standing before the heart of it all, she feels more helpless than ever. "No," she whispers, her voice hoarse but determined. "I'm not too late. There's still time." The figure laughs, low, guttural, as if it finds her resistance amusing. "You don't understand," it says, stepping closer, its eyes gleaming with cold indifference. "You've always been a part of this. From the moment you stepped into this hotel, you were marked. This is your fate, Amelia. You can't stop it." Amelia shakes her head, refusing to believe it. "I can stop it. I will stop it." With every ounce of her will, she pulls herself closer to the control panel, her hands shaking as she reaches for the nearest terminal. Her mind races, scanning through the tangled network of screens and systems. There must be a way to shut it all down. She just has to find it. But before she can even begin to analyze the data, a soft beep breaks the silence. The monitor flashes, and a new set of coordinates appear, blinking in red. Amelia's heart skips a beat. It's a countdown. The system is ready to launch, to implement whatever twisted plan they've been working on all along. A chill runs down her spine. The figure moves closer, its presence suffocating. "You're too late," it repeats, almost like a mantra. With trembling hands, Amelia taps into the system, frantically trying to reroute the commands to halt the countdown. The lights flicker once more, the buzzing from the monitors growing louder. And then, a sudden shock runs through her. It's the feeling of a presence closing in from every angle: surveillance cameras, tracking devices, sensors. She's being watched from all sides. "No," she cries out, but her voice is lost in the roar of the machines, the low hum of the hotel's infrastructure that seems to throb like a heartbeat. The system is rejecting her. The countdown continues. A realization hits her like a jolt of electricity. The figure steps into her line of sight. Its mechanical gaze fixes on her, calculating, observing. It knows what she's thinking before she even acts. "It's over, Amelia," it says, its voice calm, unshaken. "This hotel, this system, has been designed to evolve. You can't fight what you can't see." Amelia stares at the monitor one last time. The countdown ticks down by the second, each number flashing in front of her like a death sentence. She has no more time. There's no more time to shut the system down. But then, just as the final seconds approach, a soft click sounds from the back of the room. Amelia's breath catches in her throat. She turns slowly, half expecting to see nothing. But there, standing in the doorway, is a figure. A woman. It's Kayla Mendez. Kayla's expression is unreadable, her eyes cold, her posture unwavering. In her hand, she holds a small device, a remote control that seems far too familiar. Amelia's pulse spikes as she realizes what's happening. Kayla is part of it all, part of the system. She's been playing her own game from the very beginning, pulling the strings from the shadows. "You," Amelia says, her voice trembling with both rage and disbelief. "You've been in on this the whole time." Kayla's lips curl into a faint smile. "I was chosen to make sure everything went according to plan," she says, her voice smooth, detached. "I'm the final piece, Amelia. You were never meant to stop it. This was always the outcome." Amelia steps back, her mind reeling. But why? Why use the hotel? Why manipulate all of us? Kayla's eyes darken, her gaze turning colder. Because it's not just about the hotel. It's about control. about shaping a new world. A world where we don't need to ask permission to lead. A world where the people who control the system can dictate everything, where nothing, not even you, can stop us. The countdown reaches its final seconds, the screen flashing with red numbers. Amelia feels the weight of the moment settle in. This is the end. But just as the final digit hits 0, there's a sudden sound. A loud, blaring alarm. The control room erupts in chaos. The screens go blank, the lights flicker once again, and the buzzing of the monitors intensifies, now coupled with a sharp, dissonant sound that fills the air. It's the sound of a breach, of something breaking down within the system. Kayla's face twists in frustration. No, she mutters under her breath, stepping forward to the control panel, her hands frantically pressing buttons. This isn't possible. The system was foolproof. Amelia's pulse races. She doesn't know what's happening, but she feels a flicker of hope. The system is failing. Maybe, just maybe, there's a chance. She glances at Kayla, who is now visibly panicked, her movements erratic as she tries to regain control of the system. What's happening? Kayla demands, but no one answers. The alarms blare louder, and the entire building seems to shudder, as if it's alive, reacting to the breach in the core. Amelia watches as Kayla's face turns from frustration to fear. Something is wrong, something more than just the countdown. The control room begins to shake violently, and Amelia stumbles, her body thrown off balance by the tremors. The ground beneath her feet cracks, and a section of the wall splinters open with a deafening crash. No, Kayla screams, rushing toward the new breach in the wall. And then, through the smoke and debris, something strange begins to emerge, dark, swirling. Figures, moving like shadows. They are nothing like the hooded figures that had been watching her. These are different, more menacing. Amelia's heart skips a beat. She takes a step back, her mind racing, trying to process what's happening. But before she can react, the figures turn toward her, their glowing eyes locking onto hers, and the world goes dark. If this story left you on the edge of your seat, then you don't want to miss what comes next. Subscribe to my channel now and become part of the journey into the unknown. Get exclusive access to more heart-pounding, mind-bending stories that will challenge everything you thought you knew. Stay tuned, stay curious, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss a twist in the tale. You've only seen the beginning.